my vintage. I'm the really damaged. I came out and make the channel froze. I'm really who the panel chose. Put my phone, stick me up with the cost 10K to let it come see it. Hands out me, I make it come treat it. Spin, make it come beat it. I want the new in the machine out. Jewelry be caught like the temperature zero. I'm the boys, they call me the hero. Heavy then they know what I be on. I'm the best.
The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons. This one is underway here on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25.
Okay, ready? Ready?
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Well, this defense for the Falcons, they were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And this ball is going to be touched down just shy of midfield. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, shore tackle.
First carry for DeAndre Swift. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down.
Go check! Go check!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's got his pass-catching tight end, that's Pitts. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there, 4th and 3.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it.
So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. 1-7, their record here at the midway point of the season. And right now, this organization, more than likely, if you look at it, CD, probably in for a rough second half of the season.
Well, we've seen teams turn things around in other places. I mean, we've seen 1-7 first halves turn into 5-3 second halves. But with this squad, I think these guys aren't playing to get into the playoffs. They're playing for their jobs. So's the coaching staff. They're coaching for theirs. Front office trying to keep theirs. The heat is on from all directions. And what's interesting is a lot of these guys are playing for jobs and trying to keep their positions. It might be just in the league in some other spot.
And he'll be forced out of bounds all the way down inside the 20. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Up the middle, it's Cook. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. Looking to throw on second down. McGee rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far. And they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away? It could cost them a ball game.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
They go back to the ground, this time Swift. And some room to run now. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. For 30 more yards and another first down.
Right there, hurt.
On play action, they'll throw. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So a nice bounce back there defensively after giving up the big play.
Yeah, you can either get down on yourself or you can get motivated. And that time, they dropped him for a loss. So I would say that they got motivated and made the play.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. The Falcons send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over first and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Clock running, under a minute to go now here in a fast-moving first quarter. 2nd and 9 now. This is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports.
Let's go.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now a handoff running through the middle. It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a 3rd and still about 12 to go.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
On third down, McGee setting up the screen for Cook. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a fourth down. So on fourth down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. This is taken at the 23. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it will be Falcon football. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. The Falcons at 6-2 to start play. And they come in playing really well on both sides of the ball. They've won 6 of their last 8 CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. And this is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Kyle Pitts, 38 yards, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. McGee, complete. Smith has it. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. the Falcons are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had two.
Positioning, I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Second and 11. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Well, sometimes despite the best planning, the defense actually has a plan as well. And they blanketed everyone on that play. They were able to close it down and spill him for a loss.
And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Taken in at the 11. It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Falcons will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. And complete to Drake London. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A well-executed 22-yard gain. They'll run the draw here with Swift. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now back to throw.
He'll find his man, Terrace Marshall, complete.
The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play. One that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Koo knocks this one through the post.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the 2nd half gets underway.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 47 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Here we go. On that line.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll be stopped up at the 26 after a gain of only a couple.
That's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 12. Here we go.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. Oh, he's got his tight end pitch complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Swift going to try up the middle. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Here's 2nd and 8. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. The Falcon passing game looking good on this drive as they get the 1st down.
19 Tigers.
Back to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
He'll look to throw. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 19. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. They'll set up a throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Falcons take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd. Here's Koo to kick off. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, McGee.
That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones.
And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 42. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
Disrupting that play and dropping him was Arnold Ebiketie.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Barnes. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 30. A good pick up there of 20 yards. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Running right, it's Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
To Jefferson on the slant. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Now left side on the swing pass.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Touchdown! T.J. Hockenson from 21 yards away.
And the Vikings are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive as they try to finish things off in this 4th quarter, and that current 5-game win streak looking like it's going to go to 6. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he's got some space here. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 58 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. From Viking territory now, they'll come on 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Here's a give up the middle. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And they take a knee.
Let's go.
Back at the 5-yard line now. 2nd and goal. And they'll indeed take a knee. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? And they will take a knee here.
Here we go.
And on fourth down, they come up and take the knee. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the fourth, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
He's going to let it fly. And this one is incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. McGee. This one caught. It's the tight end, Hawkinson. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 45-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. Back to throw again. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. They couldn't contain Deshaun Hand that time as he gets home for the sack. So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And we talked so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turn.
Yeah, all right, my flow sinister.